I watched a 62-year-old woman walk out of a salon last week looking 15 years younger. Her stylist changed exactly one thing about her haircut, and the transformation was absolutely jaw-dropping. Meanwhile, the woman before her left looking a decade older than when she walked in, and she had no idea. The difference? One specific cut that either lifts everything or drags it all down. And number 2 on the avoid list? You probably have it right now. Hello gorgeous. Welcome back to Glow at Any Age, where we prove that looking vibrant and youthful is about smart choices, not expensive salon visits. If you're new here, welcome to our community of women who refuse to let outdated hairstyle rules dictate how we look. Today we're getting real about haircuts. 3 that genuinely take years off your appearance, and 3 that are secretly aging you. This might challenge everything your stylist has been telling you, so buckle up. Before we dive in, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, then turn on notifications because I post game-changing content like this every single week. And if this video helps you see your haircut in a new light, give it a thumbs up so more women can discover these secrets. Trust me, what you're about to learn could transform your entire look without spending a fortune. Let's get into it. Here's something the beauty industry doesn't want you to know. The haircuts they've been pushing on women our age for decades are actually making us look older, not younger. Meanwhile, the cuts that genuinely create a youthful, fresh appearance? They're often discouraged because they supposedly aren't age-appropriate. Well, I'm here to tell you that's nonsense. Age-appropriate is whatever makes you look and feel fantastic. So today, I'm breaking down the 3 haircuts that will genuinely take years off your face, and the 3 you need to avoid if you want to look current and vibrant. And I promise some of these are going to surprise you. Let's start with the first haircut that will make you look younger. The long layered cut with face framing pieces. Now before you say long hair is for young women, hear me out. I'm not talking about hair down to your waist. I'm talking about shoulder length or slightly longer hair with strategic long layers and pieces that frame your face. Here's why this works so beautifully. Long layers create movement and dimension, which is incredibly youthful. Flat, one-length hair or hair that's too short can actually emphasize facial sagging and loss of volume. But when you have layers that move and catch the light, they create visual interest that draws the eye away from any areas you're self-conscious about. The face framing pieces are absolutely key. These shorter pieces around your face soften your features, disguise jowls, and create a lifting effect without surgery. The magic is in the layering technique. You don't want choppy, aggressive layers that remove too much density. You want soft, blended layers that start around chin length and gradually get longer. This creates that movement while maintaining fullness and body. The face framing pieces should be customized to your face shape, typically starting anywhere from cheekbone to chin length, and they should blend seamlessly into the rest of your hair. What makes this cut especially youthful is the texture and movement. When styled with a bit of wave or loose curl, these layers create dimension that literally lifts your face visually. Compare this to a blunt, heavy cut that pulls everything down, and you'll see the difference immediately. The key is finding a stylist who understands how to layer for your specific hair texture and density. This isn't a one-size-fits-all cut. It needs to be customized to work with your natural hair and complement your face shape. The second haircut that creates a younger appearance is the textured lob, which stands for long bob. This is a collarbone to shoulder length cut with lots of texture and movement. The textured lob has become incredibly popular because it works on virtually everyone and manages to look both sophisticated and youthful at the same time. What makes the textured lob so effective is that it hits at the perfect length. It's not so short that it exposes everything you might want to soften, but it's not so long that it weighs your face down. That length right at the collarbone creates a beautiful frame for your face, and actually makes your neck appear longer and more elegant. The texture is what separates a young-looking lob from an aging one. You don't want a blunt, heavy bob that sits there like a helmet. You want texture, whether that's from subtle layers, point-cutting the ends, or adding internal layering that creates movement without removing density. The styling makes all the difference here. A textured lob looks best with some wave or bend to it, not stick straight. This movement creates that youthful, effortless quality. You can achieve this with a curling iron, flat iron technique, or even braiding damp hair and letting it dry. The slight imperfection and movement is what makes it look current and fresh rather than dated and severe. Another reason this cut is so flattering is that it's incredibly versatile. You can wear it down, pull it into a low ponytail or bun, tuck it behind your ears, or style it with accessories. This versatility itself feels youthful because it shows you're engaged with styling and expressing yourself, rather than locked into one unchanging look. The textured lob says, "I'm current, I pay attention to style, and I'm not afraid to have some fun with my hair." The third youthful haircut might be controversial, but I stand by it. The shaggy pixie with length on top. Now, I know pixie cuts can be tricky, but when done right with texture and length on top, they're incredibly flattering and youthful. The key words here are shaggy and length on top. Not a severe cropped pixie. Not a pixie that's uniform length all over. A shaggy pixie with substantial length on the crown and top. Here's why this works when other shortcuts don't. The length and volume on top creates lift, which is incredibly important for a youthful silhouette. As we age, our faces can lose volume and start to elongate. A flat, shortcut emphasizes this. But a pixie with volume and texture on top creates balance and makes your face appear more oval and youthful. The shaggy texture is crucial because it prevents that severe, harsh look that can age you. This cut works especially well if you have great bone structure that you want to showcase, or if you have naturally thick hair that can support the volume and texture. The sides and back should be relatively short, but not clippered or shaved unless you have a very specific aesthetic you're going for. The top should have enough length to style with texture and movement, typically at least 2 to 3 inches. This allows you to create that lived-in, effortless look that reads as youthful and current. The styling is straightforward but important. You want to add texture product to damp hair and either let it air dry with your natural texture, or use your fingers and a blow dryer to create volume and piece-wide texture. The imperfection is the point. This isn't a neat set style. It's deliberately undone and textured, which creates that youthful, energetic quality. And here's a bonus. This cut is incredibly low maintenance once you get the hang of styling it, which frees up your time while still looking fantastic. Okay, so those are the 3 cuts that can genuinely take years off your appearance. But now we need to talk about the ones that are aging you, and this is where it might sting a little. Drop a comment and let me know if you're currently wearing one of these cuts, because you're definitely not alone. And if this video is opening your eyes to better options, hit that like button and share it with a friend. Alright, let's talk about what to avoid. The first haircut to avoid is the short, uniform length crop. This is when your hair is cut to the same length all over your head, typically quite short, without any variation or layering. It's often recommended for older women as easy to maintain, but the reality is it's incredibly aging. Here's why this cut doesn't work for most women our age. It exposes absolutely everything with no softening or framing. Your entire face, ears, hairline, neck, everything is on full display. Any facial sagging, any changes in your hairline, any asymmetry in your features, it's all there with nothing to soften or disguise it. The uniform length creates a round, almost bowling ball shape that adds width to your face and can make your head look disproportionately large compared to your body. There's no dimension, no movement, no visual interest. It just sits there and unfortunately, it reads as matronly and dated rather than chic and modern. The other problem with this cut is that it requires frequent maintenance to keep its shape. As soon as it starts growing out even slightly, it looks unkempt and sloppy, which defeats the entire purpose of choosing an easy style. If you've been wearing this cut and love the convenience of short hair, that's totally valid. But consider evolving it into the shaggy pixie I mentioned earlier. Keep the ease and short length but add texture, dimension, and length variation. That simple shift takes you from matronly to modern instantly. The second cut to avoid is the stacked bob with the super short back. You know the one I mean. The back is cut extremely short, sometimes almost shaved, and it gradually gets longer toward the front. This cut was everywhere about 10 to 15 years ago, and unfortunately many women are still wearing it because it became their signature look. The problem with the stacked bob is multifold. First, that extremely short back exposes the entire back of your neck and the base of your skull. For most women, this area shows age through loose skin, texture changes, or changes in posture that create a forward head position. Exposing all of that isn't flattering. Second, the dramatic stacking creates this heavy artificial shape that looks dated now. Hair shouldn't look architectural. It should look soft and natural with movement. Third, this cut requires constant maintenance. As soon as that back starts growing out, the entire shape collapses and you look unkempt. You're back in the salon every 4 weeks spending money to maintain a cut that's aging you anyway. And finally, from certain angles, particularly from the side, this cut can look quite harsh and masculine, which isn't the soft, youthful effect most of us are going for. If you love the idea of a bob, opt for the textured lob I described earlier. Keep some length at the back, add texture and movement, and you get a modern, flattering bob that doesn't age you or require constant salon visits to maintain the shape. And finally, the third cut to avoid is the permed or tightly curled short style. This is that tight spiral perm on short hair that creates a lot of volume and curl. It's often marketed to older women as a way to add body to thinning hair. But the reality is it makes you look dated and adds years rather than subtracting them. Here's the issue. Those tight, uniform curls look artificial and remind people of a very specific era, typically the 1980s and early 1990s. It doesn't look like your natural hair texture. It looks like something you did to your hair, and not in a good way. The tightness of the curls combined with the short length often creates a round, puffy shape that adds width to your face and makes your head look larger. It lacks the soft, natural movement that creates a youthful appearance. Additionally, perms can be quite damaging to hair, especially hair that's already experiencing age-related changes in texture and strength. Damaged, dry, overprocessed hair always looks older, regardless of the style. And let's be honest, the maintenance of a perm is significant. The grow-out phase is awkward, and you're locked into that style until it grows out or you cut it off. If you love curls and want volume, there are so many better options. Embrace your natural texture if you have wave or curl. Use modern styling techniques like diffusing, scrunching, or curling with tools to create soft, natural-looking waves and curls. If your hair is naturally straight but thin, consider the textured lob or long layers that create the illusion of fullness through cut and style, rather than chemical processing. The goal is hair that looks healthy, natural, and effortlessly styled, not rigid and artificially curled. So there you have it. 3 haircuts that will genuinely make you look younger. The long layered cut with face framing pieces, the textured lob, and the shaggy pixie with length on top. And 3 cuts to avoid. The short uniform crop, the stacked bob with super short back, and the tightly permed short style. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Your haircut is one of the most powerful tools you have for looking current and youthful. It frames your face every single day. It's what people see before they see your clothes or your makeup. Getting it right makes everything else easier. And getting it wrong can undermine all your other efforts to look polished and vibrant. The youthful cuts I've described all have something in common. They feature movement, texture, dimension, and strategic framing. They soften rather than expose. They look effortless rather than rigid. And they're modern rather than dated. The aging cuts all do the opposite. They're harsh, dated, overly structured, or artificially textured. They expose rather than flatter, and they require constant maintenance to look decent. If this video helped you understand what's working or not working with your current haircut, please subscribe to Glow at Any Age and hit that notification bell. We're building an amazing community of women who support each other in looking vibrant and current at any age. Drop a comment and tell me, which cut are you rocking right now? Or which one are you thinking of trying? I read every comment and love hearing from you. And if someone you know could benefit from this honest haircut advice, share this video with them. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, the right haircut can take years off your face and $0 off your confidence. You've got this.